Hello, I'm Dr. Alan Gruning, and welcome to your Prescription for Health. Welcome to your Prescription for Health, Southwest Florida's local weekly TV program devoted to holistic health and healing. I'm Dr. Alan Gruning. I'm a holistic physician who practices in Fort Myers and in Port Charlotte. And this show is all about how to get and stay healthy in a natural way. And my practice is devoted mostly to taking care of acutely injured auto accident patients, but I have a large segment of my practice that's devoted to taking care of very complicated people with fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, hormone imbalances, autoimmune disorders, and environmental toxins. And that's what we're going to be really focusing on today in this show, is the top 10 things you need to do now to avoid toxins. And this has become extremely important because there's been a lot of information in the media in the last several weeks about arsenic in rice and GMO foods, and we're going to talk about all that and what it means to your health. You know, I have my patients sitting in front of me all the time saying, Dr. Gruning, you're telling me to avoid this, this, this. What am I supposed to eat? How am I supposed to navigate through all this? What am I supposed to buy for my family? Well, we're going to try to get down to that very practical level in the next shows and talk about what you need to do to avoid toxins and how you can go ahead and shop and do the things that you need to do for your family. Now, we have a wonderful website for this show, and it's called prescriptionforhealth.tv. I hope that you'll go to the website, make use of the different links that are on there to great organizations that can help you with your health. There's also the ability to watch our old shows on there by linking to YouTube, where we have all the old shows. You can look at my video blogs that have a lot of good information on them. And there's also the opportunities there to check out about your spiritual health and to even donate to the cause of Christian Health Ministries, which is the free medical clinic that this program is an outreach of. And if you have a business and you're interested in perhaps being a sponsor of this show, if you like what I'm doing, if you believe in the mission and vision of this organization, perhaps you'll contact me and talk about becoming a sponsor of the show, because I could use another sponsor. Anyway, today, like I said, we're going to launch into the whole subject of environmental toxins. So let's go ahead and get started with that. And we're going to talk about the top 10 things to do now to avoid toxins. Now, the first thing, before we even start with that, is this. You can't ever hope to get the toxins out of your life unless you are getting rid of tobacco, alcohol, and drugs. These are the biggest toxins you could put into your body. Take away tobacco, alcohol, and drugs, and you would not need half the hospital beds and the ER visits would go down dramatically. And as a former emergency department physician, let me assure you that I spent the vast majority of my time taking care of people who had abused their bodies with tobacco, alcohol, and drugs. It was probably half of what I was doing on a daily basis in the ER. So what do we do about this problem? First of all, if you're a smoker, my heart goes out to you. I've never been a smoker, but I deal with smokers all the time, and I know how difficult it is to quit smoking. And there's a lot of guilt and things about that. But anyway, I've tried all kinds of different things with people to get them off of cigarettes. Patches and gums and pills and nasal sprays and everything out there. All that stuff works to some degree, but you really have to want to quit. And the best way to quit smoking is really to go cold turkey. Now, there are some helpful ways to elicit that ability to resist that temptation to smoke. And I really think that this program that a church established is the best in the world. They have the highest success rate in the world, and they actually utilize the Bible to help you quit smoking. Now, this is how it works. So you get some index cards, 20 or 30 of them, and you write on the index cards Bible verses that mean something to you. For example, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It's a great verse when you're feeling weak. And you have those index cards placed in your pocket or your purse, wherever you normally keep your cigarettes. And when you get the urge to smoke, you pull out your index cards and you put them in your hand and you start reading them out loud. and you claim those verses. And then you say, Lord, I'm feeling weak. I need your strength to help me quit in Jesus' name. And then God is invited in to help you with your problem. You're not trying to do it on your own anymore. And I think that's a great program. It works wonderfully. People have great success with it. And so that's a tool that you can now utilize to help yourself get off of cigarettes. Now, alcohol and drugs is the same thing, but we actually have some great residential programs here in our area to help you to get off of alcohol and drugs. Obviously, there's Alcoholics Anonymous, there's other programs, but if you're having a serious problem, and you need to be in a facility, if you need to be in a residential program, which a lot of people do, we have Teen Challenge here locally, which is not just for teenagers. And I know all the guys at Teen Challenge. I interact with them on a regular basis. It's a great organization. They have both a men's and a women's program here in Fort Myers. And so you go there and basically stay there for a year. And you will come out a totally changed person, never controlled by alcohol and drugs again. And WRXY Ministries also has a great residential facility here locally. And again, you go in there for a year, you'll come out a totally changed individual. And so make use of these resources that are available and get off of cigarettes, get off of chewing tobacco, get off of alcohol and drugs, because otherwise none of the other things that I'm going to be talking about here are going to make any sense to you because your body's already poisoned. All right, let's get into the first top 10 things. And the first thing that we want to look at is drink the right kind of water. Now, I'm going to tell you that most of the people I deal with in my practice are horribly dehydrated. You need to drink half of your body weight in ounces per day. Now, I dare say that most of you are not doing that. If you look at the average person, say me, and I weigh 164 pounds or 65 pounds, I need to drink 80 ounces of water a day. That's half of my body weight in ounces. I make an effort to do that. I have a metal container that's 32 ounces, or 16 ounces, and I know that if I go through 5 of those a day, I've probably had the 80 ounces of water that I need to drink. And you can find other ways to do that, but the goal is you really have to measure this out, and you have to keep track of it, because I'm telling you, most of the patients I see are horribly dehydrated, and when you are dehydrated, your body cannot filter the toxins out that you're accumulating in your system, and they stay there. And the metabolism of your body doesn't work right. You can't lose weight. The different hormones in your body can't work right to regulate your metabolism. So it's very important that you drink the right amount of water. And then you have to drink the right kind of water. And so most water contains a lot of toxins. If you look at normal tap water that you're drinking, it contains chlorine, which has no business being in your body. Fluoride, which is a known toxin, yet the United States still fluoridates its water, but the rest of the civilized world has taken fluoride out of the water because we know it's a toxin. Heavy metals are in our water supply, such as cadmium, mercury, aluminum, other things that are just nasty. There are also pesticides in the water that are extremely disgusting, that are extremely harmful to your body. And the water is full of plastics. And plastics are, we're going to talk about later on, are a known carcinogen and disrupt the entire ability of your body to work. And the water is also, believe it or not, full of residues of pharmaceuticals. When they manufacture pharmaceuticals, there's different residues that these drug companies have, and they're released into the water supply somehow. And plus also, as you're going to the bathroom, pharmaceuticals are coming out of your body into the water supply, and you're drinking all this stuff. So that cannot be good for you. So what can you possibly do about this? Well, you must drink the right kind of water. And the best water really for you to have is probably either reverse osmosis or distilled water. The problem is when you go to the store and you buy either reverse osmosis water or distilled water, what's it coming in? A plastic jug. Well, that's no good. We just said that plastics are poison for us, and we're going to talk more about that later. So how can you get around this? You really have to make your own water. So that means either putting a RO unit on your whole house, which is expensive, but it's great because you're getting the chlorine and the fluoride and out of that off of your skin and out of your body. But at least put a reverse osmosis unit under your sink. At least have a unit under there that's manufacturing water for your drinking, for your cooking. I have an RO unit under my sink. There's a company here in Fort Myers, and I'll give them a plug. It's Aqua Systems, and they will lease you an RO unit for $20 a month to put under your sink with a little spigot coming out the top, and it makes like 50 gallons a day, and you can drink it, you can use it for cooking. That's less than I was paying for bottled water, which is full of plastic and junk. So consider getting a reverse osmosis unit or a distiller. If you're that into distilled water, get a distiller and make your own. But start drinking the right kind of water and get these toxic chemicals and things out of your water, because that is constantly going into your body. The second thing that we're going to look at in our top 10 things is no diet foods or artificial sweeteners. You know, when we look at what's going on in this world, there's a huge, enormous amount of products out there that are diet. And everybody thinks, oh, okay, this must be better for me than having the real stuff. No, it is not. NutraSweet, saccharin, Splenda, these things are poison. They're no good for you. And anybody that knows anything about aspartame and saccharin, you just go ahead and do some research about it. They are carcinogens, they're neurotoxic, they cause all kinds of horrible health conditions. So you should never have anything with those products in it. Diet things replace sugar with poisons and potentially toxic substances. So it's never a good thing to have something labeled diet. Diet soda studies. I mean, we've gone through this before on the show, but clearly there are numerous studies out there that show that if you drink diet soda, your waist circumference increases enormously. In fact, one study shows that if you drink 2 cans of diet soda a day, your waist circumference will go up 500% in a year. That means you get 5 times bigger in 1 year by drinking 2 diet sodas a day. That's very scary. We also know that the consumption of diet foods increases cardiovascular disease risk, preterm labors, all kinds of horrible health conditions. So it's very important that you stay away from diet products. Decreased kidney function is another big thing that they're finding out in Europe, that diet products decrease the function of your kidneys. There's like a 40% increase of people that drink diet foods, or drink diet sodas rather, that have heart attacks. That's very scary. So there are toxic effects also of aspartame on the nervous system and carcinogenic effects of saccharin. I mean, these things have no place in the human body. So it's much better to eat the full fat, full sugar thing than to eat anything diet. Let's look at our number 8 thing on our list. Avoiding mercury in canned tuna. Now, this came out as a big deal, I think about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, through Consumer Reports. And let me tell you, this is a major problem. And everybody kind of forgets about this because, you know, time, you kind of forget things. But canned tuna has no place being consumed by you. And believe it or not, albacore tuna turned out to be worse than chunk light tuna. Everybody thinks, well, albacore must be a better kind of tuna. It's not. It actually has more mercury in it than chunk light tuna. So tuna, canned tuna, needs to be avoided by everyone, but especially if you're pregnant or if you're a young woman who has the potential to become pregnant. Now, everybody says, okay, well, if I can't have canned tuna, what can I have? Canned salmon is actually okay. They've tested multiple batches of canned salmon, and I eat canned salmon, and canned salmon is actually okay for you. It doesn't have very much mercury in it. But remember also that there are a lot of other fish that are very heavily contaminated with mercury and other heavy metals, and pretty much all of the freshwater fish in the United States is contaminated, and you should probably never eat any freshwater fish except those that are certified raised organic. And that's very important to remember, that there are fish now, and there are trout farms that are raising trout organically, and those are okay to eat. But freshwater fish, I remember the days I used to like go fishing and catch bass or whatever, and then I would eat it. Can't do that anymore. Those lakes and rivers are all horribly contaminated with heavy metals and pesticides and plastics that are horribly toxic to us, and they're concentrated in the fish. So unfortunately, those days are over. We're going to get back to more of our top 10 things to avoid, toxins to avoid. But right now, we're going to take a little opportunity to go to our commercial break and meet our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with the show. Thank you. Medicine Shop Pharmacy has been serving Charlotte County for 27 years with the same owner and pharmacist, Wayne Wallace. They offer the personalized service of a small-town pharmacy, but the buying power of a large chain to keep prices low. Medicine Shop specializes in compounding medication, which means custom making them for each patient, including bioidentical hormones. They even have free delivery. Medicine Shop is located on US 41 in Port Charlotte. Call them at 941-627-9855.